There we go. All right. So there we go. Okay. So I'm one of the problems when you have brain damage. Can you get the calendar, the fire? Oh, the fire's not going. All right. So one of the things that happens when you have brain damage is the executive functions are hard. So timing is hard, and I'm stop. So so one of the things. So I'm gonna let you see the behind the scenes of what I do here. So in order for me to speak, because I have aphasia and apraxia, so what happens is that I can write, but I can't really. So I can write and I need to make notes like this. So I can write and notes, so because it's really hard for me to read. Because after you have aphasia and apraxia, I can read, but I can only read for about an hour a day. But if I write and I doodle at the same time, it makes it easier for me to write. So, in order for me to write, I have to write down all the words that I might disappear so that I can speak. And I love to have this little doodle while I'm doing it. So I haven't had the time to download them and put them in. So I made my little doodle and they're sideways. So that's great. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you for your grace as I'm trying to do this. So I made these awesome little doodles. So I'm talking about Jasmine Star. So she's living right now. Forgive me, talking to me is a little bit like a game. And I don't really like the light here so much. Okay. But I have all my notes on the floor. So we're just going to have to deal with this. Wonderful. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So in Jasmine Star, they're living. She's in about 6 hours, you can buy her course and you get to coach with Jasmine Star and all of her tools and all of her pieces to make things easier. All right, we're gonna nailing this thing. Okay, so Jasmine Star. Oh yeah, that one didn't work. Because when things don't work, you just keep going. As an entrepreneur, you find a way. This is how business works. I'll find a place here. Okay. Ha-ha! It's working. Okay, so Jasmine Star, she was talking about there's two different types of entrepreneurs. There's the what's that word she used observer. She used the observer type of entrepreneur. Those are the people that we learn and we you learn and you put all the stuff that you learned and you put it on the shelf and you go, look, I just did this. Now there's something when you're learning, it's safe. So people don't need, oh yeah, my nails, this is nailing. Yeah, nailing it. I got everything perfect. And the other type of entrepreneurs is the actin, the ones that actually act. But what she doesn't talk about is that there's actually a third type of entrepreneur. So the third type is like me. And when you're disabled, you want to hide. So I'm the person that I love to learn because it's safe. I do act, but I'm not able to do it. And what happens when you try to do things and you're like, this is exactly what you do. And you're just like, I can't. And this is embarrassing. This is freaking embarrassing that everyone else can do it and I can't. So it's embarrassing and I hide myself and I need to meet new tools. And for other people to see that I'm different, freaking, and to see my signs and to show people that I'm doing things and I look differently is freaking so embarrassing. And being embarrassing gives me more signs, more symptoms. So when I talk about symptoms, so when I have brain damage, my symptoms are I'm just more human. So when you have stress, that affects everyone. But when you have brain damage, everything in the world is louder. So I need tools. Let's see if we'll do this. Okay, this is going to be sideways. I think I can change so that it stops moving my phone ring. See, like we click a little button and it makes it happen. Now it wants to do other things. So thank you for your patience. All right, we're going to get this doodles. This is totally going to be worth it, guys. Having these little doodles. Okay, so I need to find new tools. And when people told me that you can't, they're like, Melanie, your brain dam is too much. You can't do it. And I said, okay, let's find a way to do it. That's how an entrepreneur works. We need a community. I need people to have their grace. And I'm inviting other people to help me on this mission because it is embarrassing. Like when I started dating, I thought, okay, I'll just tell people I'm disabled and no one want to date me. Well, it turns out the more vulnerability in telling people this is what's wrong with me. What's so interesting is that people don't throw me away. Instead, they go, oh, that's interesting. And then they tell me what's weird about them too. So it's super interesting. So I'm inviting you onto this mission to enable to me to do it because in the universe, in the hospital, they told me, Melanie, your brain damage is too much. You can't run a business. And I said, okay, because as an entrepreneur, you go like, tell me why. And then you make a list of why you can't do it. So you need to run a business that's stress-free. Like, okay. So then I interviewed 50 coaches. Like I looked up 50 entrepreneurs, business coaches, and it came down to about 10. And then I interviewed them. And that's when I found no, that's the wrong word, James' webinar. And I took his course over and over and over. And then I found another coach, and this coach to teach me to speak on stage. And each one of those things, I learned new tools. And as an entrepreneur, you're always looking for the script. You want to respond. Okay, here we'll use my doodles. We'll do these ones because yeah. So we find scripts so that we can. So again, I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and so I'm like, I'll do one of these things. I'm going to use my notes sitting on the floor. That's how entrepreneurs. You're going in, and I think Jasmine Star would be proud of this. She always tells me, go in messy and imperfect and Gary Vanderchuck, I'm saying his wrong. Gary V. He goes in on purpose with his hair messy sometimes. So he's like, it doesn't matter how your hair looks. You get it done. Okay. So we want to have these scripts. So I'm learning from all these embarrassing things of going to these coaches and in the group, people will see me do things that are rude. And they say, Melanie, just do this. And I have to say, I can't. I know that's a normal thing, but I can't. So example, for me, there's 2 bars. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, I have a better one. I have a doodle here that is freaking gorgeous. Okay, so on your phone, you have 4 bars and you have 1 bar, right? Okay, I'm trying to make this perfect and we don't need that. So when you have 4 bars and I have 1 bar. So when you're driving your phone, when you're using your phone and you're driving through the mountain, and when you have 4 bars, you can call, you can do everything. But when you have 1 bar, you can still call, but you have to speak really slow because the processing is really slow when you have 1 bar. So the same way that I'm a smartphone, but I have brain damage. So I'm driving through the mountains, and the things that give me 1 bar is emotions, stress. So all those normal things that happens to a human of stress affects us, the emotions, being triggered, not having enough sleep, not eating enough. So I can do everything to get prepared. So before I go live, I'm going to take a sleep for one sleep cycle, 2 hours, 4 hours before. So I'm prepared. I'm going to eat and I'm have get rid of all stress, and I will take all the extra emotions going on. So I'm doing the best I can. So even if I do everything right, something will trigger me, and those emotions will give me symptoms. Now, those symptoms will make me look drunk. So I have aphasia and apraxia. So one of them means that I couldn't control my body from my neck down. So I will drop things, I will hit things, I'll have bruises. And my body will do the opposite what I'm doing. So when I text, my fingers do the opposite what I'm telling it to do. And then the aphasia and apraxia, the other ones that means words, is when I say words, it will come out the opposite that I want to say. So 25%, 25% of the time, the exact opposite words will come out. Also my speeds. So I will either speed really fast and I will talk over top of you, which I'm sorry. I don't mean it because I know what the end of your sentence is going to be and I will talk over top of you, which is rude. And I don't want to do that, but I sometimes executive functions mess those up. Or I won't have enough words and my words will come out really slow. And I will close with my eyes closed. When I have a hard time coming up with words, I will close my eyes, and that will means that I have less symptoms, stimulations. The less stimulations, the better I am to getting words. And it also means that when I get waves of emotions. So my brain doesn't have, when I'm in one bar, it will give me emotions, but in huge waves of them. So I either get it a ton or not. So one of the rude things that we'll do is that we'll be talking and I will say, we'll be in the middle, you'll be speaking, we'll be in the middle of it, and I'll say, bathroom. And I will run to the bathroom, which is super rude. But what you don't know is that when you have to go to the bathroom, your body says, like, hey, in the next 5 minutes, half hour, you should probably go to the bathroom. No. When I'm on one bar, I'm told, Melanie, run to the bathroom right now or you're going to pee yourself. And that's the amount of warnings that I get. So we're in the middle of conversations and I say, I'm going to the bathroom. I need you to just accept me that I'm running to the bathroom. And I want you to celebrate like, damn, I just went to the bathroom on tone and I didn't pee myself. And if I did pee myself, I need you to not say anything about it because I can't control that. I haven't yet, but. And then when I come back from going to the bathroom, I can't remember what we're talking about. So when I come back, what you can do is remind me where we are and give me a breath, then I can catch up. And that's processing that we're talking about. So that gives me a little bit of loading, like loading, give me a little time to catch up, that loading, that little thing. So when I come back, and I want you guys to pretend like no big deal. So none of this anger, you're rude. I'm doing the best I can. So I need to educate you to that. So I've done everything I need to get prepared. I've done everything prepared. The other thing that can help me is that if we talk about one thing at a time, and when we switch from one thing to another, if you give me a breath, it gives me time to go to the next thing. So with that speed, also with my words, either I have too many words really fast or have new. And so if I'm in one of that time where I'm exploding words and blowing up words, this is, yeah. And then my words, I'm realizing I think those words sound dirty. It's not meant that way. Sorry. So one of the tools that you can do to help me is if you do this. So if I'm speaking and I start like blah, 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 words that don't need to be done because I'm nervous. So I say a bunch of words. You just say this. I'll take a breath. And then I'll ready to hear you and be like, okay, I think what you're asking is this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And these things, the these tools would be good for everyone, not just brain damage. These little tools that I have would be good for everyone else. So I need clear communication. So because 25% of the words, the opposite words come out all wonky. And so it's really important for a brain damaged person to mirror back what you heard, which this is great communication. This is something you should do to anytime. Anytime someone says something to you, you say it back in less words. Okay, so what I heard, freaking my kid my kid is amazing. I would explode all these words and then my kid would tell me one sentence back. Like to the point. Like my kid, freaking amazing, this kid. Okay, now I'm going to look like an ass sometimes, but I'm the kind of ass that you're going to fucking love because let's be real. You all want a disabled person because I'm going to make you way cooler to have a disabled friend. That's my funny, cheeky part of me. Okay, so the other tool that really helps me is giving me space. So give me a little bit of space. And there's two tools, pause and stop. So sometimes my processing, yeah, isn't that so sweet? Like, look at this technology shit, man. Oh, yeah, we should talk about my swearing. Okay, swearing. Okay, when I swear, it's not anger, it's lazy English. I can make a whole sentence out of fuck and you know exactly what I'm thinking. So when I swear, it's not meant to be angry. It's meant that's doing the best that I can and it's the lazy English. Swearing is lazy English. So when I say pause, that gives me time to loading. So when you're doing something, it feels like I get overwhelmed and I have so much information. And if I say pause, it gives me a time to catch up. So pause means and you do nothing instantly. You don't say anything. You shut up, nothing. Wait, pause. And I get my processing caught up. When I say stop, that's more serious. That means that there's symptoms that go on. So one of the things that I want to point out is saying pause or stop is not meant to be rude. It's giving me a chance to catch up. It's almost like every sound, everything I'm hearing, it's like I have a pot on my head and it's whacking it. And I can control these waves of emotions. I can control, one of the weirdest thing is that because I couldn't feel my body from my neck down. And so this side, the signs will be, I will get needles, right? It will start falling asleep, needle. And I'll be like, oh, but what happens if it starts making this to fall asleep or it'll like shake or do stuff like that? And I need to meditate and I turn it off and then I can go forward. But it also tells me that at a certain time I need to stop because if I don't stop and I get rid of stimulations and I sit in the dark and do nothing, it gives my brain time to rehealing this, and then I continue to use this arm. But if I don't listen to this sign and I keep working, my brain will turn off this arm and I will never be able to use that arm again. So when I say that I have these limits can be permanent. So when I say stop, it's because I want to continue to move that arm. So this side usually makes part of it slowly falling out. The right side, the boundaries are more like this side. The boundaries are very slow. Like, Melanie, I'm going to slowly needle odos. You can't feel hot and cold. Like, I'm going to slowly let you know that you're doing too much, Melanie. Now this side's a little something. This is a serious boundaries. So this side, it will pick a random muscle and it would give me a 10 out of 10 pain like this. And so if you see me scream, and I fall to the floor, bam, that is this side giving boundaries. And all I have to do is sit in the dark, I like sit down, meditate, get rid of the pain, and then I tell how much time I have. Do I have 5 minutes, half an hour, how much time? So this symptom is me throwing on the floor, screaming, and I want you guys to pay attention, nothing. So if my hand sprinkles or I fall on the floor or I scream, I want you to pretend she's got this. There's nothing you have to do. And I don't want anyone else to react either. Just like, oh, she has brain damage. No big deal. She's going to hack in her body and then move forward. So those are some of the weird things that happen with my brain damage. And I'm looking for people I'm asking for those people that are willing to help me get better. And so my call to action for today is, if you would like a download for a printout of these PDF. So there's a PDF for me, things that make Mel better, or I can make a PDF for what would help a neurodiversity anytime you meet someone. So these are specifically to me. When you have brain damage, our brain controls everything. So each brain damage, you have to ask them, what do they need? What does that mean for you? What I can do to support you? And if there's one thing you can take from this, if you meet someone that they look drunk, maybe they're drunk, might be brain damage. But if you see someone and you ground yourself and you slow down your words just slowly, they can hear you. So for me, when you say a 4-syllable words, it's like each one of those syllables is a ball that you're throwing to me. So when you're saying a 4-syllable word, I get it. I know it. It just takes the processing a little longer. So it's like you're throwing 4 balls. I'm trying to grab them all and I put them into my head. So it takes me a little bit more time. So for me, numbers and names are really hard for me. And I can't hear those words unless I practice them. So I don't know why, but numbers and names, if you have a little breath when you say a name, getting those processing, and 4-syllable words or numbers, if that gives me a little bit of breath in between them, then I can hear them and my processing better. So let me know if you'd like a PDF for me specifically or for brain damage, tips to help someone else. And the main thing, if you're going to take one thing from this whole thing, slow down, ground yourself, and no anger, just understanding. Like, just have the space, just ground yourself, space, and ask them directly, what can I do to support you? And if you could do that, damn, And my mission to help people so that they can. And I know I'm going to do this right to the end. I want to work right to the end. I'm one of those people. Okay. And my remind you, if you woke up today, it's because we need the world just like you. No one else like you. You can level up, you can get better. I completely recommend that. And my proof to show you I did this imperfect, very imperfect, and I got it done. So I send you love, and we'll see you on the inside. What was Zig Ziglar who said? See you on Zig Ziglar. You should put that in the comment. If you remember what Zig Ziglar used to say, level you up. Something about like you level up. This is Melanie. These are Melanie misquotes. These are Melanie's misquotes. Zig Ziglar said, I'll see you on the inside. I don't know those words. Okay, I'm going to go now. Bye.